I want you to ask yourself a simple question that I just recently posed to myself. Why should I play Genshin Impact? Genshin Impact took the gacha gaming sphere by storm with its global release on September 28th of 2020. And if you're like me, you were frothing at the mouth to give it a shot. It looks so polished, so clean, and so big. If you're like me though, you also fell off the wagon with the game fairly quickly as well. What I mainly attribute this to was some misunderstanding with my friend group that this was going to be a primarily multiplayer experience, where in reality it served as more of a single-player game. Once we realized that multiplayer was mainly for bossing or instance content, and that the bulk of the game was single-player, we all fell off one by one. However, this game's remained quietly in the back of my mind ever since. There was some level of hold the game had over me, waiting to take over until the moment was ultimately right. This is finally that time. I'm happy to say the latter half of 2025 is when Genshin Impact ultimately got its hooks in me, and I think it's a great game that a lot of people should reconsider if they fell out of it like me. I would like to go over some of the main qualities that have drawn me back into the game again. The term open world is a pretty major buzzword in this day and age of gaming, and it feels like every developer is looking for a way to make their games more open, more free, bigger, or more expansive than the last. Genshin was the first gacha game to dip its toe into this hallowed open world space, and while many others have attempted to follow it, none have managed to reach the pinnacle that it has. The environments are gorgeous and reachable, and the overall graphical direction makes you want to reach those things you see. The incentive of having chests that contain usable materials and currency used to purchase more summons or wishes dispersed throughout the world is such a great way to reward players. I haven't seen a game reward travel in this manner since I played Guild Wars 2 years ago, and I love the idea of being thrown into such an expansive world and it being clear from the development that I'm wanted to explore it. Genshin has an incredibly colorful cast of characters, each with different and fun designs. In the world, characters all have a place, and they're all designed accordingly if they come from like nations or like backgrounds. As I've just started, this is an area I'm particularly weak in, but I'm still impressed with the early character developments I've seen. As a quick example, Kaya has a pretty cool design. He definitely looks knightly, and the only quirk that detracts from that is his eye patch, but then he explains in a scene that his grandfather was a pirate and his eye patch is hereditary. That turned out to be just an expansion on his dry sense of humor, but it was welcome and fun, and it opened up another layer to the character that made him feel more alive to me. But given that he has so many layers, and he's just the second free playable character the game gave me, I don't think it's wrong to have some considerable faith in what they're doing in the character department, despite my lack of experience. There are many other more battle-focused gacha games in the field that are objectively more difficult or mechanically intensive, and I'm not here to dispute that. However, there is enjoyment and beauty in the simplicity of the systems at play, and their straightforward nature allow for creativity and innovation with team building. Again, I will remind that I'm only at the beginning of the game, but every character can be broken down into their basic attack, which is reliant on their weapon type, and their skill and ultimate, which are character and element reliant. Each skill and ultimate has an element, and swapping characters and elements allows for these interactions to occur between the elements, where they chain or cause other sort of reactions. So for example, if an electro character hits an enemy that has the wet condition, that wet enemy chains lightning damage to the enemies around it, spreading more and more bonus damage. Elements have diverse and interesting interactions, encouraging you to make full use of your entire team. And I love this. It gives far more incentive to get your full money's worth out of your free characters. Or, money's worth, they were free. I guess that would mean you get nothing out of your characters? Get something out of them. Anything? I've got to say, I've played quite a few gacha games in my day, primarily those like Summoner's War, Epic 7, or Dislight, and I've got to say I'm pretty impressed with Hoyoverse as a company from everything that I've seen from them thus far anyways. The gacha gaming sphere is an easy place for a developer to be greedy and exploit their player base, but I feel from my experience that they allow for players of their various games to get some of the cool toys they release, even without a crazy budget for their gacha Barbie gambling. This is really lucky, as if you spend time engaging with the game and its systems, you'll organically unlock more characters, and you'll be consistently growing and bolstering the strength of your free characters. Over time, the easier to acquire characters will grow, and you can save your budget for some really hot ticket item new characters. After all, while some of us are here for the grind, all of us are here to roll the dice, and we know it. Whether we admit it or not is the question. But if I'm going to gamble with a company, I'll gladly cast my die with Hoyo. Lastly, the community. The people that I know who love this game really love this game. One of my favorite things to witness in the world is somebody who's incredibly passionate about something and them talking about that thing. I just think that's such a beautiful experience. And everyone who I talk to about Genshin talks about all the time they've spent in the world, or who their favorite main character is, or their theory crafting builds and talking about interactions. This game is a far cry from the Breath of the Wild on iPhone, like people touted in years past. This is a polished, super well-produced game with incredible following. As a newcomer, everyone that's seen me playing has reached out with an incredible amount of support and joy to welcome a new face to their world. They're just delighted to share this experience that they've had. And it's honestly been great to see, and I'm glad to be one of you now. I hope not only that's explained why I'm late to the party on Genshin, but happy to be there. But I also hope that this has convinced some of you who have been on the fence to give the game a shot to perhaps go ahead and give it a try this year. As always, if you like my content, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as these things all help my channel more than you could possibly know. And I would like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of my subscribers thus far. I just recently reached 100 subscribers on my channel, and it's just surreal to think that this is where I am right now. I've always wanted to do this, and seeing that I can create this content and that people enjoy this content, that's meant the world to me. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. But thank you guys so much for watching, so much for listening, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.